Hi there. This is going to be a tutorial. It's going to go over our entire Launchpad, and our Launchpad is how we can get up and running as quickly as possible on LCH Core. So I've already done a video, but we've added so many new features. I'm creating 2.0. So the first thing we want to do is we want to get our coaching sessions set up. And the reason we want to do this is nobody's going to be able to book with us until we have at least one coaching session. And we'll probably also want a free session for discovery calls. So I've already added all these, but normally when you're starting out, you're going to see a couple of squares here, which you can just click on, edit, and then use. So we try to make it as easy as possible. And I've actually already added all of those. So we do give you a free discovery call, which, you can feel free to rename, do all sorts of things with, whatever you want. This is where you set the session location. And if you do select Zoom, then it's really good to connect your Zoom account. We've got various ways that you can meet. And just as a little pro tip, if you are going to be creating a lot of sessions in different places, head on over into settings here, click on settings, and then click coaching settings. Then you can actually select your, telephone number, address, etc. And then once you save those will automatically populate. So that's a little pro tip. Okay, so after we do that, the location, we're going to want to think about, well, how far in advance do we really want people to be able to book with us? So we give you a couple defaults, but definitely you can change these. So if a month is too far, you can, go up and down. You can choose a date range, or you can just say yes indefinitely. And then you can also say, what is the notice that you need in advance in order to have someone book? Some people don't mind at all. Like 1 minute is fine. Some people are like, no, I need 8 days. It's totally up to you. Choose whatever you want. Buffer times are a little different. That is if you have an entire day full of meetings, then how long before or after the session do you want to have no meetings? So you can, just in case you go over, or, so you can get up, take a little drink of water or what have you. Now we do recommend, this is what we give as a default. You can have both of them, but we do recommend that you choose one or the other. Otherwise, you're actually going to be double stacking them. And so, if you have 10 here and 10 here, then we're actually looking at 20 minutes in between. So if you're not used to that or you're not aware of that, just be aware when you're selecting those. Now, what is the public booking page? Well, we can get into that, but if we do have a page where you can have your session show up and people can actually directly book with you right from your page, free session. So you got to decide yes or no, you want that on there. And I'll go into this a little bit in the public booking section. Then you can also choose yes or no. You want clients to be able to book it. So if you say no, it's not going to show up on their store. Okay, just be aware of that. Then we can also decide where we want it to show up, and also you can also create a direct sort of unlisted link. So those are the ways that we can set up our sessions. I'll just cancel out of this one, and that is the free one. That they're all basically the same, the 30, 60, and 90 minutes, or whatever you're choosing to create. You can, obviously, you don't have to call them that. You can call them something more interesting. You can create as many as you want, and it's the same process for each of them. So after we set those up, then we're on our way, because now we have something where we can go into our sessions and we can start booking with clients. Clients can book with us, and people can start booking also, like prospects can book with us. So the next step is to connect our calendar and our Zoom if these are something that you do want to connect. And another way to get to this page, I always like to show people the actual way to get there, because the Launchpad is honestly, it's just like a little shortcut. So you want to go down here to integrations. So that's how we get here. So you can connect your Google Cal or your Outlook or your Zoom, and that's just going to make life a lot easier when you're going and you're doing your scheduling. So that's why we have that as number 2. Okay, so next, when are you available? So this is where you can say, okay, my working hours are X hours, and that's the only time people can book with me. The other place to get there and there's a little bit more complexity or let's say nuance when you get there. If you come down under calendar and booking and then you go to availability, here are your hours, which you're welcome to change, and this is going to be in your time zone, as you can see. You can change whatever you want. You can remove days. You can do whatever you like. But what about day-specific hours? What if I'm not going to be available on the 19th? I can just do that and no more 19th. Or let's say on the 13th, I'm actually going to be available way longer. I can do that as well. So that's your availability. So you're going to want to do that next, just to make sure people don't start hopping on and booking with you when you're not available. Okay. Now, I promised public booking page, so that's what we're going to look at next. So let's open that up. And this is where you can get to it directly under profile and booking. Now, I do have a whole video on this that you'll be able to watch. So I won't go into too much detail. I would click over to this page and watch the video, but just in sort of a condensed form, this is going to look like this. So you're going to have a page where someone can book with you. They can have an intake form and things like that. Just click like that. And based on our availability, that's what they're going to see, so on and so forth. And then there's a couple steps you need to do to go live. So go ahead and watch that video to get more information on it. But it's really fantastic. It lets you get some hot leads, some prospects very easily with your own public booking page. So you're going to want to set that up next. Okay, let's get back to our Launchpad. So the next thing you're going to want to decide is, do you want to receive lead alerts? So sometimes we get people who are looking directly for coaches. You can turn these on, you can turn them off, and you can do this also later in notifications if you change your mind, if you go on holiday or something. So on or off. And then you can also select what areas. And if you go onto that page, again, this is the direct link here. It's a little bit of an easier way to click them. So you might want to do that. Obviously, we also need to send you money. Now, we don't take any commission or anything like that. It goes 100% to you, and we need you to make sure that you're getting your money before you actually have anyone able to purchase anything from your store or anything like that. So we're going to click, oops, not connected. We're going to click manage. Okay, so generally it wouldn't say connected there. Like if I wasn't connected, let's just see. Yeah, I'm connected here. But otherwise it would say, click here, and then you come to this page. Now, it's not an either or. You can do Stripe and PayPal. Okay, so you can give people the option, how do they want to pay. Stripe, obviously your clients do not need a Stripe account. All they need is a credit card. It's really cool with Stripe because you can choose installments, you can choose pay later, you can do Apple Pay, Google Pay, all sorts of stuff. It's a lot of stuff that you can set up with Stripe. But some people also like to use PayPal, and some of our international coaches don't have Stripe. So we also offer PayPal. I suggest, using both, because the more you there are options you give to your clients, the better. The happier they will be. And then up here, I'll just point out to you, you can choose a different currency. So again, for our international coaches, you can set it to whatever you like, and that's what's going to show up in your store. And it's also going to be attached to everything, but you just have to be aware, like you would want, let's say that you're in euros, right? You're going to want your Stripe to be in euros and everything like that. But this is what's going to show up in your store. So just be really careful. If you start on US dollars and then you change to euros, but you've already set all your prices in in US dollars, thinking, oh, well, this is actually, I'm paying 50, but it's actually 30 euros. Well, we don't automatically convert. So you're going to want to go back in and change it to be the correct euros, if that's what you really want. I'm sorry if I've completely messed up that explanation. Just the best idea is to choose your currency at the start. Okay, so let's get back to the Launchpad. Now we've got money. We've got our money set up. We know it's going to be coming in. What do we do next? Well, you're probably going to want to put your best foot forward. So a good idea at this point is to edit your branding. Okay, so another way to get there is under here, under the side profile. This is basically where all the settings go, under branding, okay? So you can put your business info, you can upload a logo, you can choose brand coloring, And then once you change these colors, you're going to see it reflect over here. So let's say we change this color here to, bright green. You can see immediately, oh, well, that's not looking great. Let me change that to a slightly darker green. See, like that, okay? So that's up to you. And then once you save it, now your clients are actually going to see it like that, okay? And we do have one template here that you can make some changes to, and more will come. If you have any requests, please let us know which emails you would like to be able to edit, okay? And we'll put it on our feature list. Next, what do we want to do next? Okay, well, we're kind of all set up now. We want to start welcoming some clients. So most coaches will send out a welcome package. We give you one to start with, but you're absolutely welcome to edit it, okay? So we won't feel bad. So we have the welcome package you get here. So you can go in, you can edit it, you can clone it. You could also, so for instance, this one is this one clone, and then I just changed the title. You can just start one from scratch too. Just click create new. So what actually is a welcome package? Well, the way we have it set up is you have a welcome letter, which again, you can change, edit, whatever you like. Then we have an agreement. Now, be very aware that the agreement is going to be electronically signed by your client. So you don't have to kind of say, download it and send it to me. They will be able to sign it directly on their side, and you will get a copy, and they will get a copy. Then you can also add personal and coaching information forms. Let me just check this one for a second here. So I popped over here just for fun so we can see the client side. Okay, so I promised you that there was a welcome letter, and then there was agreement, and I mentioned that they could sign it themselves. So you can see that they can download it here. And this is where we're going to see where you can collect some biographical information about them. Of course, you can change all these or delete them. And then some coaching information, which is more like, what do they want to get out of this coaching relationship? So that's their view. You would get your view as well. And you'd be able to see that in the contact module. So we'll see that in a minute. So let's get back to the Launchpad then and take a look at the next step, which is actually going to show us that basically our CRM here under contacts. So what we've done, I'm really excited about this, is we have now created a way for you to view the entire app as a client. So I just showed you what it looked like logged in. You can now do that yourself anytime from your own dashboard. So what you want to do is you want to click over here, go to contacts. Okay, that's going to open this up. This is basically our CRM, okay? So in here, you're going to be able to see your preview account, you're going to see your clients, and if you have any prospects or buyers, this poor person doesn't, and this demo coach, you would see them as well, and you'd be able to see their tab and be able to invite them into the portal or to coaching, et cetera, et cetera. So I will have another video all about this module. So, but right now I want to show you about this preview account. So what it's suggesting is that you actually come here, take a look at it, and because it says onboarding needed, what's going to happen is I'm going to click on it, and then it's going to take me through the onboarding wizard. So this is what happens with other clients who you have not completely onboarded yet. So let's say I invite a client, okay, I go through all this, I press invite, and then I get distracted, I forget what I'm doing. If I come back into my contacts list here, it's going to say onboarding needed very clearly and urgently. And if I click and try to see what's going on with them, it's going to say, no, you got to onboard them. That's because they don't actually have any login information yet. So it's really important. Even if you don't want to send a welcome package or a coaching plan, that's fine. You need them to get their login info. So it's really urgent. So you'll come in here. At this point, you can say, yeah, I want to send that welcome package I just worked on. Awesome. Or you can decide, nah, you know what? This is a client I've already worked with. They don't need one. It's up to you. Okay. Then what is a coaching plan? A coaching plan is basically a series of short questions that you send out. Well, we send out automatically before the session, which will just, let you guys laser focus on what you want to talk about at that particular session. So some people like that. Some people don't. You can have more than one and you can choose them here. Okay. And then we can continue on, and here's where we can write our message to them. You can change this however you like. And this is where this part you can't edit because this is where they get their login details, okay? And then if we say save and continue, then that is going to be where we can come here and we can take a look and then, yep, that looks good. I'm going to welcome. But what I want to do is actually do this, not with our client, but with our preview account. So let's go here and let's send our welcome package. Let's send, yeah, we're going to choose a coaching plan. And Laura is the name of our demo client, our demo coach. So, yeah, that's correct. We're saying hello to Laura. This all looks good. Save and continue. And we welcome our client, who's really us, okay? So now, if we go back into the contacts, we now have a preview account, okay? If we go in there, we'll have all the tabs that you normally get with a client, and you can experiment and you can test everything out with your client without ever having to be bothered logging in or out. You can do everything that way. So let me just show you how that works. So the next step in our Launchpad is to, yes, we viewed our portal. Okay, we're going to view our portal as a client. So it says view as a client. And okay, so we viewed it as a coach. Okay, now there's not a lot going on here, so we'd want to probably make some sessions of stuff. But the next step here is to view it as a client. So the other way to do this, apart from this little button, is to go here and click view as client. So either way, okay, so probably day to day, you're going to use this one here, really easy under your profile. Okay, so let's click it. Let's say, yes, view as client. Now it has some information here. It's going to say that we can view all our stuff as a client, all, everything that we all have seen, but this is only stuff that we have actually scheduled with the client, with ourselves. Okay, so we actually have to set that up and schedule it for the client to see it, just like a real client will see. So you basically are doing exactly the way a real client will see. So like it says here, pro tip, to see a fully populated, go to your contacts page first, preview client, onboard yourself. Yes, we did that. We get gold star. Then we haven't done this. We're going to want to assign coaching tools, schedule sessions, send welcome packages, and so on. Okay, well, we did send the welcome package, but this is the pro tip. Okay, and also there's another thing that you should be aware of, which is that any purchases made through here are not going to charge you any money. So feel free to buy your most expensive coaching package. You're not going to be paying yourself or anything like that. It's all, it's all just a test account. But your client, don't worry, your client really will be paying. Okay. So once you're aware of that, just press switch to client view. And there we go. We logged in. So we haven't actually booked anything, so we can't see anything. But once we start doing that, once you see that, you'll get all the emails, you'll get everything. You'll get to understand it as a client. You can book appointments, you can buy sessions, you can do anything you want. So here's where you can do messages. We haven't even gone through all these modules, but this is the way it looks for your client. Okay, so play around with that, and then we can just click exit client view and we come right back. Okay, so that's the view as a client, and I do recommend going through here and doing all the things and just checking it out. Let's then go back to our Launchpad and see what we're supposed to do next. Put that one away. Okay, so view as a client, yes, we did that. Okay, so now it is suggesting that we actually do schedule a session. So let's click on schedule a session. This is our sessions module. Now we can do that from this page or from the calendar page. We might want to do it like this. If you have Google, then you're going to see it in green. Anything which is Google is green. Anything that's Life Coach Hub is blue. You can see that, yeah, I've connected my calendar. I haven't connected my Zoom. You can see any upcoming sessions here. So, you can add a new one here, or you can go on the sessions page and you can add a new session here. It's up to you. Once you do, now we do have a whole module on this and videos, so I'm not going to go into too much detail, but you can choose, this is my preview client, okay, so I can do that. This is a real client, which, is our demo client, but it's a real client. This is actually me, okay, that Laura Brown right now, the demo coach, that's me. So I could go ahead and schedule a session. I can do pro bono or paid. Now, because it says no sessions left, that's just because we do this like sort of like a gym punch card. So your clients can purchase a number of sessions in advance. They could purchase a coaching package, which has a certain number of sessions. And then those will show up here. And then it makes it really easy for you just to, okay, we're going to use up one of those or one of those. Don't worry if that hasn't, they haven't done that. There's other ways you can book with them. So what we can do here is if we click 60 minutes and we didn't buy one of our sessions, quote unquote buy yet, we can still schedule. So let's say we're going to go on the 7th. We wanted to set it up for 11 a.m. and we can select how we want to meet here. And okay, so there's a few different ways that you can do this. Again, this is in the sessions video, but basically you can choose one of these, which will send a link. Okay, it'll send a link for them to pay before the session, and either just send it, or if they don't pay within 24 hours, it will cancel the session. We can also invoice them after the session. So that's this one. And then you can just like collect the money some other way that you have set up. Or you don't even want to send an invoice. You're just like, oh no, it's already taken care of. I'm going to, then I would just say choose alternate payment method. So you do have all these different options. Or you can just choose pro bono. So you've got a number of different options that you can take. And then we can say, okay, we're going to create the session. Now, because I have set up my availability, you're going to get this if, I have it at a certain time, which is not within my availability window. And you absolutely go ahead and you can still confirm it. But it's just, our way of letting you know, oops, maybe you've forgotten, but this is not when you were going to really be available. So that's fine. I'm going to say, yeah, I know I said I was busy that day, but I want it anyway. Okay, so now we can see our session here. Now I'm going to show you a couple of past sessions that are more filled in. So here's where we can see, here you can see if it's pro bono or paid. You can see how it took place. And then you can see what kind of session it was and the time and the date. And here you can see, okay, it was via phone. And again, how it was paid. Let's find one that actually had a payment. Here, this was paid, and it was one of those prepaid ones, okay, using their session credits that I talked about, like the gym and, punch card. Which product was it? It's our 60-minute call. And then if it's a Zoom or something, you can press start session. We can cancel it here. We can also look at our coaching plan that we sent out that the client filled in, and we can comment back and forth. We can obviously take a lot of notes. Like here, make this bigger or smaller, however you want it. And then we can send notes to our client if we want, or not send them. We can have some that are just private to you, some that you do send. And then here we have a number of coaching tools. So I'm kind of getting ahead of myself in the Launchpad. So let's just get back. We did do what we were tasked to do, which was to make a session. So we schedule a session with our preview client. Okay. So the next one, I did, like I said, I got ahead of ourselves a little bit, but we were looking at those notes. Now there's two places you can look at your sessions, and that's why this is giving you the second one, which is the progress stream. So the progress stream has all your sessions. It has all your notes, all your coaching tools, all your courses as well. Okay. So on the sessions page, it looks exactly the same as the other one, because basically it is the same. We can take our notes here as well. And that just makes it easier, because on this page, we can have a way to flip back and forth between our sessions and any tools we might have. Now, what are the tools? Well, that's the very next one on our list. Okay, we have a number of tools. We're really proud of this. We have action items, longer term goals, journaling, which is a wonderful way to move towards goals. We have any worksheets that you want to interactively assign, and you get everything electronically. You don't have to worry about paper and fumbling and all that, PDFs, and any other resources. So we have a number of coaching tools that we can assign. And again, I would recommend that you do assign these to your preview client, which is basically yourself. There is a tutorial here, so I won't go into too much detail, but there's so many things that you can do and assign, and you can create them from these pages. Or what's even cooler is if you're in, let's say you're in the sessions page, or if you're in the progress stream, either of these places with the sessions, let's go through here. You can say, yeah, I want to assign a new tool based on what we talked about in our session. So, you know, you just finished your session. It was a productive session. They have suggested or they've promised to take action and, you know, ask for a raise. Okay, well, create or assign a new action item saying, you know, you're gonna ask for a raise. Or perhaps they have a longer term goal that they just brought out. You can create that. Perhaps you have a journal that you think would be really useful to them. So you can just assign it from here or create new ones, etc. So that's our coaching tools. Now we do have a whole video on that. I'll let you check that out. But I do recommend going through, looking at that and checking it out with your preview client. Okay, so the next few things to do are all about the offers. So the offers suite lives here, okay? And we do also have a video for offers that you can take a look at. I really recommend everybody creates lead magnets, but you can also obviously create all these. You will have at least one session, but you can also package them up into coaching packages. You know, a lot of coaches have coaching packages. So you just open it up. You bundle them up, it'll tell the client what they get. You can have a sales page, all sorts of things. So like if we take a look here, you know, this is what you're going to see. We can create digital products of any kind, like audio, video, service, etc. Again, same exact idea. You get that sales page. They look fantastic. They want to work with you. They want to buy your stuff. You're making passive income, etc. So the rest of these things that you want to go through are just talking about those different kinds of offers, and I do recommend that you look at that video in more detail. So package, offer, courses. I mean, courses are all the rage. This is a fantastic way to get passive income. You know, you set and forget. They're great lead magnets. They're great at making money. They're great low or high ticket. I mean, it's amazing. So we have all everything you need with courses. You do not need to go out there and get Teachables, Kajabi, or anything like that. You can just use ours. Fantastic, fantastic value. And then also in that video, we talk about bundles and how bundles are amazing. They're a great way to increase your average order value. They're a great way to bring in new clients too. So I definitely recommend looking at that. Here's a little bit of a sneak peek. Basically what you do is you include one of your coaching sessions in with something else that you're selling that is, that people really enjoy downloading or buying from you, such a PDF. And there you go, right away, you have somebody who is a hot prospect who's actually jumped on a call with you who might not otherwise have done so. Okay, what do we do next? We look at our store. Okay, so let's take a look at our store. You can just go here, copy your store link, or you can come in here and take a look at your actual store. And we do have a video about this, but this is the way your store is going to, you can come in and manage it. And this is the way your store is going to look here. And so if you want to grab that link, and we really, really recommend you do, you can come in here, copy that link, share it around, put it on your website, put it on your socials. And of course, you can also share each and every one of the links to each and every one of your offerings by just coming here and clicking copy URL, or going into the store, opening it up, and taking the URL yourself from the menu bar. Okay, so we're almost at the end. We've got all our coaching sessions set up. We're coaching with our clients. We actually have our preview client set up so we can see what it looks like from the point of view of the client. We've onboarded everybody. We've got our branding up. We're doing notes. We're organized. Everything is in a client folder. We're assigning tools. And we've got our sales machine here with all our offers. And we've got our store. So now it's time to invite your first real client. So what you want to do is click this button, or just, again, I want everybody to know where all these buttons live. It's this one here, and it's basically at the top of every page. I already showed it to you. You click a few buttons here, you get taken to the onboarding wizard, and then they become your client. So super cool. You can also get yourself listed in the directory, which is over here, and there's a video about that. And we really do love it if you spread the word about us, and you also will make some passive income doing that as well. So if you want to learn a little bit more about it, we talk about it here. So we'd love you to do that. Now, for further support, you can click down here some of these links. We have live chat, of course. You can email us. We have a whole knowledge base full of articles. And we can also onboard you with a call if you click here. So that's our Launchpad. I just want to point out a couple other things. Here, the messaging, we briefly touched on it, but yes, you can message back and forth without having to email, and that's here. That wasn't touched upon in the Launchpad, but that is right here. Here's your orders. This is where you're going to find. And I did mention that the contacts, I'm going to show you a different account that has a couple more varieties of contacts so we can see. Okay, and then we also have here the orders page. So this is where you would see your orders. You would see how they came in, if it was because you gifted them, or did they come through your client portal, or it might also say public store. Okay, and we can resend our invoices, see the invoices, download the invoices, and so on. So there you go. That is Life Coach Hub. That's how you get set up from 0 to 100. Really hope you enjoyed this video. If you have any issues or any questions, please do reach out to us. All the support links are down here on the side, and we can't wait to help you make your coaching practice a huge success. Thank you.